And I did the staircases every day. So I was, in that time, in a better physical condition than even the firemen. Because that was my routine. That was my job. So when I go down and I tell them, the fireman tells me, we leave the handicapped people always for the last, so they will not impede the rescue effort of the majority of the masses. We get there. But we got to the 27th floor. When we got to the 27th floor, the whole unit of firemen collapsed on the corridor, one after the other, because they couldn't continue going up. It was physically impossible for them to continue. They took their equipment, they took their jackets, they took their boots, they dropped themselves on the floor. A very shocking moment for me, because I said, oh my God, I feel like I have to go alone now. Remember, David Lim said, Willie, do you know this floor? I said, yeah, I know this floor. He said, where can I get water? He said, on the other side, there's a machine. So let's go. He breaks the machine. We start taking bottled water, putting it on trash cans, and bringing it to the firemen and giving them the bottled water. I remember I called my mother from a phone that was working in that office. Call her. My mother is in Puerto Rico. But I wanted to let her know that there was an accident in case she heard something on the news, that I was okay. When she picked up the phone, she was like, what are you doing there? Everybody in the world knew but us what was happening. She said, get out now. And I said, I can't. I'm helping these people. They don't know the building. But don't worry. And I lied to her. I said, I'm going to get up to a certain part, but I'm not going to get to the area where they have the fire. When my actual intention was to go to windows of the world and help my friends. That was my motivating and the power that was actually pushing me to go to the top. Because I knew these people were stuck in there. I hung up on the phone, and I have calls from my supervisor say, Rodriguez, abandon the building right now. Abandon the building right now. I say, I can't. I'm helping the fire department. He said, that's not your job. Get out now. I turn off the radio, and I continue going up by myself, opening door, letting people out until I got to the 33rd floor. When I get to the 33rd floor, and the reason that I went to the 33rd floor it was because I had a closet inside there where I have all supplies. Every 16 floors, I had a little closet with supplies. And I wanted to get the dust mask to give it to the people that were coming out because of the smoke that it was coming in the staircase. It was an acrid smoke. It was like ammonium stuck in your throat. I spoke to Professor Jones about it. I spoke to experts who said it, it sounds like ammonium nitrate. I mean, I'm not an expert on those things. And as I went in to get those masks, I found a lady sitting on the floor, trembling, blonde lady, no shoes, in a fetal position. And I said, what are you doing here? Get out! And she said, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. She was a new employee. She didn't know where to go. Now, that gives you an idea. Also, the World Trade Center did drills twice a year. Twice a year. With a population of 50,000 employees. Come on. It should have been a mandatory training that anybody that works in the building should have learned where the exits were. And that's one of the lawsuits that we are actually trying to establish, that every building now that is over a certain amount of floors should have mandatory training, because the turnaround of people getting fired, retiring, getting hired is a constant. And at the World Trade Center, imagine, it was a city within a city. It was a constant. This lady didn't know what to do. So I stood her up, put her on the stairwell. There were people coming down. And I said, take her out, please. As I went back inside the office, the corridor, I heard the strangest thing. Now, on the floor above me, the 34th floor, I heard heavy equipment being moved around. You know the dumpsters? When they scratch the floor, those steel dumpsters, it sounded just like it. It was the first time that I felt fear through the whole ordeal because it was an empty floor. I knew for a fact that was a hollowed out floor by construction. There was no walls, there was no ceiling, there was no wires, there was nothing there. It was a floor that was emptied out over 8 months before. So there was nobody supposedly to be there. And for me to hear that kind of sound really scared me. So much that I bypassed that floor. That was the only floor I did not open the door. And I continued going up until I got to the 39th floor. When I got to the 39th floor, from the opposite staircase, there were 3 staircases, A, B, and C. Police officer David Lim came up with 2 firemen. And as we were talking about what was going to be our next move, we hear, boom! The impact on the other tower. And it was so hard that our building oscillated so much that we lost practically our footing. And all of a sudden we hear, boom, 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 boom. And on the radio, we lost 65. We lost 65, meaning that the 65th floor collapsed floor by floor by floor by floor, up to the 44th floor, the sky lobby, 5 flights away. And I started screaming, we got to go up, we got to go up. Officer Lim said, Rodriguez, you've done enough, but you don't get paid for this. And I said, what? I'm going up. And he said, no. You stay here, you're still a civilian, and you are my responsibility. And I said, sorry, I'm not giving the key to anybody, I'm going up. And he said, better if you give me a hand with the person on the wheelchair on the 27th floor. And he said, you know, David, I'm going to go down, but I'm coming right up. I'm going to help you with that, but I'm coming right up. So I ran down to the 27th floor. When I ran to the 27th floor, I screamed to the firemen, I have orders to get this guy out right now. The guy was taken out of the wheelchair. He was put on a rescue basket, all tied up. 3 guys stood up and said, let's go. We grabbed him. We started going down the stairwell. As we go down, it was like the movie The Tower in Inferno, because chunks were coming all over us, from the ceiling, from the walls. And then the light, the fluorescent lights, the long ones, that's what we had on the stairwells. Because the building was oscillating so much, you could hear them breaking in unison, going floor by floor. Clash, 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 clash. And we lost visibility as we go down. Emergency lights, some floors they worked, other floors they didn't. Calls for us to get out of the building, we never got them, even though they said that they did. That was a famous lawsuit against Motorola because the radios didn't work out. As we go down, we make it to the lobby. We make it to the lobby. When I get to the lobby, what do I see? The elevators for the passengers are open from the bottom like this. The doors, the aluminum doors. The indication that something powerful came from the bottom. I mean, I don't have to be a genius to realize that something was wrong there. And all of a sudden, one of the firemen tells me, please, go get the ambulance ready. Now, the other tower already collapsed as we were going down. I remember telling the guy on the wheelchair, don't worry, after this, we're going to get a beer. And he was going, yes, 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 yes. I don't even drink. But I wanted to give him motivation, disposition, enthusiasm to continue. And I was looking for a way to digest what was happening. As I was told to get the ambulance ready, I realized that the whole area on my left was destroyed